YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another video, guys. And today's video is going to be on week 15 winners, guys. So with no further ado, make sure you hit the like button and enjoy the content. Let's go. So, guys, let's start with the quarterbacks, guys that I want to talk about that are winners, right? That won, and hopefully I can give you something that can take you into your next week to make you help you make a good decision, right? To help you win a fantasy football championship. So make sure you hit the like button, guys. This is cutting edge content. So the first quarterback that is a winner from week 15 is Jalen Hurts. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Jalen Hurts, guys, is because he's injured. So yes, he went crazy, but he's injured, and you might not have him for the rest of your fantasy football playoff, which is okay. You're gonna have to pivot to do somebody. So tomorrow, guys, make sure you check me out. I'm gonna give you a couple guys that you might be able to pivot for. But wait now, I just want to talk about Jalen Hurts, that he was a winner. He's been a winner all year, up for the MVP in fantasy and also just regular football. But guys, he's hurt, so you're gonna probably have to pivot from him and get somebody else like a Gardner Minshew or even some of these other guys who may be left on your waivers. Okay, so let's move on. The next winner is a quarterback that I want to talk about is Justin Fields. Yes, guys, Justin Fields. And the reason why I want to talk about Justin Fields, guys, is he's a winner and he's matchup proof. That's what last week showed me. He played against Philly, which is a great defense, and he almost had him beat. Not just because Philly had a bad outing, but he actually was pushing Jalen Hurts to play good. Jalen Hurts came out of the game and didn't play that great. And then he was like, okay, I got to play. This guy is not playing. So, guys, I just want to let you know, if you have Justin Fields, you start him against any team for the rest of your season. You don't worry about who's playing Justin Fields. All right, moving on. Next winner that I want to talk about as a quarterback is Jared Goff. Now, listen, the reason why I like Jared Goff is because, guys, people said he couldn't play on the road. They said that when he was on the road, he had a lot of bad games. And you saw that in Los Angeles with the Rams. He would go on the road, he would struggle sometimes. Well, he did struggle. Even though he didn't have a crazy fantasy game, he still played solid, and that's what you wanted to see. So now this guy, to me, is matchup proof in the playoffs. I don't care who he playing, you roll him out there. It doesn't matter. He did really good against the Jets, and nobody had did anything against the Jets. I think he's the second best quarterback against the Jets all season on the road. So, guys, Jared Goff, no more playing matchups with him. Just roll him out there. Next is Trevor Lawrence. Yes, Trevor Lawrence. Listen, guys, he has arrived. And I've been telling people for the last few weeks, if he could play these last few weeks and play above and beyond, then it's time to champion him. It's time to roll him out there. It's time to buy low on him in Dynasty. It's time to start him for the rest of the fantasy football playoffs. And it's here. He did it, guys. He's ready. He's ready to go. He's the Trevor Lawrence that everybody drafted, number one overall in their fantasy draft. All the NFL teams and scouts champion. This guy, he's ready to evolve. Doug Peterson is doing a great job with the other coaching regime. It wasn't great. The last coaches that were there last year, whoever was the quarterback coach, it was terrible. This year, Doug Peterson doing amazing job. So make sure, you guys, that you go and roll Trevor Lawrence out there. Last but not least is Zach Wilson. Now, listen, this is not a video to say that Zach Wilson is matchup proof. He's not. But I got to give him credit. He's a winner this week because he's had his best game to me of his career. So I think this is something that we can start looking at and maybe can pick him up. Now, listen, I'm saying start him next week, this coming up week. No, I'm saying if he plays good, maybe in a fantasy championship, if you don't have Jalen Hurts or you have somebody else, maybe you pivot in the Superflex League and play Zach Wilson. Right now, don't do it. But now he's on the radar to be watching to see if he can get better off the last performance. And he also had a good week. So I just want to talk about him in this winter video. All right, guys, moving on to my running back list. Jared McKinney. No longer worried about Isaiah Pacheco. You just start Jared McKinney for the rest of the season. He showed you for the last 4 to 5 weeks, even though the whole season, that, hey, listen, I don't care who they bring in. I'm still going to do really well. I'm the back when we get down that they give the ball to. And he also can play and have boom plays, and that's what he did. So Jared McKinnon is a guy that you're going to start going forward no matter what the matchups is. Next is Ramondre Stevenson. Now listen, I know you're like, well, Tina, what you gonna say? We know Ramondre's good, but listen, what Ramondre did with that injury that he had on his ankle all week and played the way he played, it's time to take him out of it. Maybe a star to he's becoming a superstar. He could be the next Derrick Henry that catch passes. I said what I said. Ramondre Stevenson can be the next Derrick Henry that get out into open space and catch passes. So, guys, right now, Ramondre Stevenson is a champion. Hopefully, this can help you going to next week because I know you're going to play him, but even maybe next year. Ramondre Stevenson, to me, is a first round, second round type running back. That's just me. All right, moving on. We got three more other guys. Tyler Algier. Now, listen, I got to talk about him. He did really well. I'm not saying that he's matchup proof, but I think that maybe next year and going on to the rest of this fantasy football playoffs, that you can pick up Tyler Algier and stash him and play him if you need him. So if you don't have no running backs, you got a running back that went down, maybe you can play Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson, right? I'm not saying one of these guys, you got to sit the other one. Maybe you can start both, but this is going to be a heavy run team. And Tyler Algier, guys, is a big time, like he's a big, strong guy. He can handle the 25, 30 carries. So I like Tyler Algier just to hold on to him and see what, in case you need him. I'm not saying he's a must start, but if you need him, you can start him. Moving on. This guy, Latavius Murray, guys, from the Denver Broncos. This guy is, I think he could be a league-winning player. I think that he's got good matchups in the fantasy football playoffs that they're giving him the majority of the workload. Marlon Mack is not really sniping too much. He had one touchdown, but Latavius had 25 carries. So I think Latavius Murray, guys, you just got to roll him out there for the rest of your fantasy football playoffs. This guy's older. I'm not saying anything for him for next year, but this year, this might be the guy to put in your flex spot and give you that boom. And last is Raheem Mostert. Now, listen, I'm not telling you to start Raheem Mostert. He's going to have the same game that he had last week, but I'd rather play him over Jeff Wilson. I'd rather play him over Tyler Algier. It's a lot of guys that I'd rather start Raheem Mostert over because of the high efficient offense that they have, where they're going to be in the red zone a lot, so that he's going to have opportunities. And also, he's fast and he's a explosive player. So Raheem Mostert, guys, I think is going to be fine if you want to play him next week. Me, I got him. It just depends on what's going on. If I got other guys that I feel more comfortable with, but it is okay to play him. All right, let's go on to the wide receivers. The first guy is Zay Jones. And what I got to say about Zay Jones is just he has Rob. He is a top 12 type fringe wide receiver now. So you got to roll him out there. You can't play him in matchups. Even if he does you just got to accept that's the type of player he is. So now that he's had two big boom games in the last 3 weeks, he's a must start, if you ask me. And moving on to my next wide receiver is KJ Osborne. Yes, guys, KJ Osborne. But listen, I got to say that he was a winner for this week. But if you need to play a flex play, and you don't have really nobody out there, and you looking on the waiver wire, why not KJ Osborne? He could dodge you, but he could go for 140 yards on 8 catches. So I think this guy is a flex guy. If you're in the playoffs and you're looking for some boom, this is a boom guy that I'm willing to put in my lineup. Next, guys, is Johan Dotson for the Washington Commanders. Now, listen, Johan Dotson, I think, is a lot of weapons on this team, but I think Johan is still good enough to take targets from Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and have a good fantasy out week. I'm starting him every week from now on. That's all I needed to see. This week, since he's been back from the injury, I needed to see him boom, and I seen it. So I'm starting him for the rest of the fantasy football playoffs, guys. And I'm not worried about it. I don't care what matchup it is. He's a starter. Moving on. Next is Jerry Jeudy, guys. Yes, Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is going to end up being the number one wide receiver on this team. I thought it was going to be Tim Patrick. He got hurt. And I thought it was going to be Courtland Sutton. He got hurt. Jerry Jeudy has had some boom games the last couple of weeks with a backup quarterback and also with Russ. So I think Jerry Jeudy has moved up to like that top 24. I'm getting ready to bust out type wide receiver next year if he can stay healthy. And that's what Jerry Jeudy is, and I feel good about that now that I've seen these last games where the situation was tough, right? He just didn't have Russell Wilson hyper-targeting him. He had to do it with Brett Rippon, and he did. Right. Last but not least is Rashid Shaheed. Now, listen, a lot of you might not play in special team point leagues, but I do. So this guy's getting kickoff returns, punt returns, and he's also getting big plays because they're not really getting it through Andy Dalton and Olave through the regular schemes. They actually need Taysom Hill to come in and do some trickery and be able to hit Rashid. And I'm willing to play this guy as a flex. He's been consistent the last 2 to 3 weeks. So it ain't just like a boom bust 1 week thing. This is a boom guy that can bust, but it's a boom guy that's been consistent the last couple of weeks, guys. So I'm willing to play this as a flex play to get some boom if I need that in my lineup, especially with Jonathan Taylor going down, Jalen Hurts maybe being a little bit volatile. You got to look for some boom somewhere to cover up for these big-time players because the backups is not going to give you that. All right, guys, let's get to the tight end, and then we done. Okay, tight end, Taysom Hill. I think he's a winner. And I think if you got Taysom Hill and you got like a less tier tight end, like a guy like, let me see, not Mark Andrews or George Kittle, but maybe Hayden Hurst or Tyler Conklin, I might play Taysom Hill over one of these guys because I like the boom. Remember, it's playoff time. The boom can win you. Like week, not just being consistent, just the boom. A guy just boom, you put him in and he boom for you. Bam, you can win that week. So that's what I feel like Taysom Hill is. And because of the volatility of the position, I'm not worried about playing Taysom Hill in my tight end spot. All right, moving on. Next is Chigo Okonro. Chigo, I've been talking about Chigo all week, guys. Even if Treylon Burks comes back, Chigo's going to be good. Now, Malik Willis, if he's out there, that worries me. Maybe I don't play Chigo going forward. But he is a winner from last week, too. I just want you people to know that he's been a winner the last 2 weeks. But if Malik Willis is a starter, maybe I pivot and go to somebody else other than Chico because I don't know what to expect from Malik Willis. But if Ryan Taylor Hill is there, I'm starting Chigo if I need to as a tight end. Moving on, Jawan Johnson, great job. This guy the last 6 weeks. Yeah, he's been out a couple of weeks. He got hurt, but this guy's been killing. 2 touchdowns. They looking for him in the red zone. I like Jawan Johnson, guys. So you can start Jawan Johnson, especially with the volatility of the position. 2 more guys. George Kittle. Now, what reason why I got George Kittle on here? Most of you are going to trust it after he had the big game, but I was telling people all through the year, don't matter if George Kittle does you. You got to play him. You got to because it just need the right game script, and they got the right game script, and he got hyper targeted, or he got a couple boom plays. So I like George Kittle going forward. I don't care what the matchup is. It's George Kittle. If I drafted like top tight ends like Darren Waller, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, I'm starting them. I don't care what's going on as long as they're healthy. All right, last but not least is Dawson Knox. Now listen. With them pushing Isaiah McKenzie to the side, bringing in Cole Beasley, they need Dawson Knox. They asking him to step up and get paid and play like he's paid, right? He's paid as a top 5 tight end, so they want him to play like that, and he did. So I'm going to play him going forward because I feel like Josh Allen needs some weapons. He's not hyper-targeting Isaiah McKenzie anymore, right? Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis not getting a bunch of targets. It's just Stephon Diggs, couple running back plays, Josh Allen and Dawson Knox, and that's why I'm picking up Dawson Knox if I can, and I'm playing him unconsciously in my week's 16 fantasy football playoffs. So, guys, thank y'all for tuning in to Fantasy Good Sports. Make sure you hit the like button. This is cutting edge content, guys. Peace.